All right, shalom, shalom, everybody. So we are Daniel, shalom, my friend. David and Michelle, shalom. Sorry, collar's all weird. All right, so we are on Daniel. We are on Jeremiah chapter 25. All right. Here we go. The word that came to Yirmiyahu concerning all the people of Yehuda in the 4th year of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, which was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, which Yirmiyahu the prophet spoke to all the people of Yehuda and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, From the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Yehuda, even to this day, this is the 23rd year in which the word of Jehovah has come to me, and I have spoken to you, rising early and speaking, but you have not listened. And Jehovah has sent to you all his servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, but you have not listened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, Repent now every one his evil way and his evil doings, and dwell in the land that Jehovah has given to you and your fathers forever and ever. Do not go after other gods to serve them and worship them, and do not provoke me to anger with the works of your hands, and I will not harm you. Yet you have not listened to me, says Jehovah, that you might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore, thus says Jehovah Tzvaot, because you have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, says Jehovah, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, against its inhabitants, and against these nations, and all around, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, a hissing, and perpetual desolations. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of bridegroom, and the voice of bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the lamp. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. Then it will come to pass, when 70 years are completed, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, the land of the Chaldeans, for their iniquities, says Jehovah, and I will make it a perpetual desolation. So I will bring on that land all my words, which I have pronounced against it, all that is written in this book, which Yirmiyahu has prophesied concerning all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall be served by them also, and I will repay them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. For thus says Jehovah Elohim of Israel to me, Take this wine cup of fury from my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send you to drink it. And they will drink and stagger and go mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then I took the cup from Jehovah's hand, and made all the nations to whom Jehovah had sent me, and made all the nations drink to whom Jehovah had sent me. Jerusalem and the cities of Yehuda, its kings and its princes, to make them a desolation, an astonishment, a hissing, and a curse, as it is written this day. Pharaoh king of Mitzrayim, his servants, his princes, and all his people, all the mixed multitude, all the kings of the land of Uz, all the kings of the land of the Philistines, namely Ashkelon, Gaza, Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, and the people of Ammon, all the kings of Tyre, all the kings of Sidon, and the kings of the coastlands which are across the sea, Dedan, Tema, Buz, and all who are in the farthest corners, all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mixed multitude who dwell in the desert, all the kings of Zimri, all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kings of the world which are on the face of the earth. Also the king of Sheshach shall drink after them. Therefore you shall say to them, Thus says Yehovah Tzvaot, the Elohim of Yisrael, Drink, be drunk, and vomit. Fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup from your hand to drink, then you shall say to them, Thus says Yehovah Tzvaot, you shall certainly drink. For behold, I begin to bring calamity on the city which is called by my name. And should you be utterly unpunished, you shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword on all the inhabitants of the earth, says Yehovah Tzvaot. Therefore prophesy against them all these words, and say to them, Yehovah will roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He will roar mightily against his fold. He will give a shout as those who tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise will come to the ends of the earth, for Yehovah has a controversy with the nations. He will plead his case with all flesh. He will give those who are wicked to the sword, says Yehovah. Thus says Yehovah Tzvaot, Behold, disaster shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the farthest parts of the earth. And at that day the slain of Yehovah shall be from one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented or gathered or buried. They shall become refuse on the ground. Wail, shepherds, and cry. Roll about in the ashes, you leaders of the flock, for the days of your slaughter and your dispersions are fulfilled. You shall fall like a precious vessel, and the shepherds will have no way to flee, nor the leaders of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and a wailing of the leaders to the flock will be heard. For Yehovah has plundered their pasture, and the peaceful dwellings are cut down because of the fierce anger of Yehovah. He has left his lair like the lion, for their land is desolate, because of the fierceness of the oppressor, and because of his fierce anger. Man, when you read a chapter like that, it almost leaves you speechless afterwards, because it's like, and this is Yah's judgment on his people, his chosen. Can you imagine what it's going to be? Can you imagine what it's going to be like when he fully unleashes his judgment on the wicked of the world who aren't his? I mean, Yah chastises those he loves. This is why Israel went into captivity again and again. This is why Israel was punished again and again. But when he would handle a nation that was wicked and sinful, he would have them completely obliterated, wiped off the face of the earth. He would destroy them utterly in every way, shape, and form. When he punished Israel for her wickedness, because of things he had done prior, there was always a means of a remnant that would remain. There would always be a handful of the people to start it all again, so to speak, in walking in obedience to Yah. He would judge and remove the wicked from among his place where his name is, as he says in here, where my name is established, talking about Yerushalayim. And then because of, and I love how he works, I mean, just understanding the wisdom and intelligence of Yah is there are no words for it, to be honest, Mishpachah. But when we look at his judgment to the nations, so he uses the nations to spank Israel, basically, to come in and be a bully and beat them up, so to speak. But in the process of doing so, he uses it as a means to bring judgment on them because of all of their constant wickedness before his eyes. Their sin, their depravity and wickedness and idolatry and everything that they're doing on a continual basis, because they reject Yah altogether. I mean, they don't acknowledge him, nothing. They reject him altogether as God or anything. And so when it's time to bring judgment on them, he'll use them to bring punishment on his people, only to turn around and then exact the judgment on them he's planning for them anyways. It kind of killing two birds with one stone kind of thing. And through this, we continue to see Yah's mercy, because he always promises deliverance. He always promises to bring them back around. And he draws on them, and he draws on them, and he draws on them. Listen to me, Mishpachah, or Israel. Listen to me, my children. Do as I say. Obey my commandments, so that it may be well with you. But you're not listening. And you keep sinning, and you keep profaning my name, and going unto other gods, and whatever the case may be. And I tell you, when we watch and we read everything of Jeremiah, and this chapter 25, the 70 years of desolation, the 70 years of captivity into Babylon, the reason for that punishment, which is in other scripture, I'm actually thinking about doing a teaching on it, is because Israel broke 70 Shemitah years. And for those who don't know, a Shemitah year is a land Sabbath. Every 7th year, you're supposed to let the land rest. It's so that all the nutrients and everything can replenish in the ground. You're not supposed to harvest it. You're not supposed to dig nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't do nothing. You let it rest for a whole year. You're supposed to let all your cattle, all your animals, everything rest for that whole year. And then in the 8th year, you go and you plant seed and get ready for a new harvest the following year. And Israel broke 70 of them. That's over a 490-year period that Israel broke the Shemitah Sabbath. And so for that punishment, and I'll, when I do the teaching on it, and there's more to go with it than just what I'm sharing, Yah said that you will go into captivity for 1 year for every Shemitah that you broke, 70 years. So it just, everything, the thing that is interesting is that every time Yah punishes Israel, it's always with the means to restore Israel back unto himself, always with that purpose, but never with that with others, because of their wickedness and their blatant, just complete rejection of him. They do. He when he punishes them, it's a permanent punishment. When he punishes Israel, it's always with the purpose of restoring them back to him. Same with us, Mishpachah. When we sin and Yah chastises us and he punishes us, and however way he does it, it's not for the purpose of turning his back on us, unless you have come to a point where he's like, I'm done, because you're not going to surrender to me. Therefore, I release you to a hardened heart. But when Yah punishes us, it's with the purpose of delivering us and restoring us back into him. And that is our hope and our strength. Amen. So I love you all, Mishpachah. I hope you have a blessed and awesome day wherever you're at. And for those of you who might be getting ready to go to sleep, Brother Roblin, I know that you'd be getting ready to go to bed. May you have a great night's sleep. May you sleep peacefully. And may all of you be safe in Yah's hands today. May we all dwell in the secret place of the Most High and abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I love you all, but Yah loves you more. Shalom, shalom.